smallest pigeon I've seen all. Wait, look at the pigeon.
Oh well. It's really small.
Mm-hmm.
They're cute.
Actual execution.
We'll both frostings anyway. What time do you want to pick it up?
Miss Patty will pick it up around 5.
All right, you're all set.
I wanted to take some time to talk about some fall or end of the year goals or intentions. And of course, I was listening to Rainn Wilson, also known as Dwight Schrute from The Office. He started a podcast called Soul Boom, and I have been listening to it so much. You've probably heard me talk about it at least a handful of times by now. But I was recently listening to an episode where he had an Olympian on, and they were discussing emotions and how to handle emotions, or really what the purpose of them is. And I love the perspective that they took on it, which was discussing how instead of suppressing them or avoiding them, to actually welcome them, even if they are uncomfortable. They even compared it to a guest showing up at your party who wasn't invited but just randomly showed up. And to just kind of acknowledge the person and to acknowledge that emotion, so to say. I specifically really took away the fact that it's not about avoiding the uncomfortable emotions, which, by the way, we tend to avoid the emotions that encourage the most discomfort or require a pivot or a change in life. For example, anxiety or fear, these all encourage change. Anger and aggression all require some form of acknowledgement and require a level of discomfort. And rather than avoiding the emotions that make us the most uncomfortable, it's about looking inwardly and asking, what can I learn from this emotion? What is this emotion trying to express to me? And when we welcome all of our emotions, including the uncomfortable ones, oftentimes we find a deeper sense of self, a better understanding of our situation or that emotion in and of itself. And they can be used as teachers to go deeper within to find out why we're feeling these feelings in the first place. So I hope that helps you as much as it truly helped me. Good morning, beautiful humans. I hope you all are doing well on whatever day it is that you are watching this. I have my coffee in a pumpkin mug, so it feels like everything's gonna be okay. I have a couple of things to share with you all. Some of the stickers that I shared in my last video have officially come in and they are so cute. So I'm gonna try and get out of the way because I know it's gonna try and focus on my face. So we have this slow down sticker. This mushroom sticker, and then this other mushroom sticker. So those are the new stickers that I ordered, and the slow down sticker is going to be October's Patreon reward. I also spent the weekend carving out some of the stamps. I finished the ghost stamp and all 4 mushrooms. So I'm going to be sharing today on the docket. I have to block print those, which is going to be a lot because the mushrooms are going to be on one paper all together, and then they're also going to be on individual smaller papers like 5x7. So there's going to be lots of printing those, and then I'm going to be flipping back and forth between white ink and black ink, so I'll probably have to do one or the other today and then another time tomorrow. I have to pack up September Patreon rewards, so they're going to be on their way by this week. And then last night you probably saw some footage of me making the mini calendars for 2025. I love these mini calendars so much. This is what they look like when they're up. They are transparent, which I think is what makes them the cutest things ever. But I recently had August through December of 2024, but it is already getting close to October, so I went ahead and made all 12 months of 2025. January through December. I am obsessed with them. And surprisingly, I honestly don't know why. I feel like it took me way longer than I thought it was gonna take me. Of course, I'm doing 12 months instead of 5 months like I did for the other ones. But this probably took me around 4 hours to do. Just 10. I just thought that was interesting and something to share. But anywho, I think that's all I have to share with you all for now. But that's what I have going on today. This market that I'm going to be a part of is the biggest that I've ever done. I have an event with my mom 24 hours before, so I have to do some things for her as well. So it's gonna be a super, super busy weekend. I think it's 2 weekends from now, 2 or 3 weekends from now, October 5th and 6th. So I'm kind of on a time crunch, but at the same time, I feel like I'm pacing myself pretty well. And then of course, by the time this video goes up, the fall shop update part 1 is going to be live as we speak. So this is all of my drop shipping items. So this means that they are going to be outsourced through a third party. They handle all of production, all of shipping. Essentially, you're able to get merch now because I wasn't able to get merch if I didn't utilize the third party. So there are blankets, there is a weekender tote bag, there is a tumbler, there is a mug, there are a couple crew necks, there's a sweatshirt, there's a hat. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but if you were interested in any of those items, go check them out, go snag yourself some goodies, and stay tuned for the fall shop update part 2 in October with all the handmade items and all the things you're gonna be seeing me make in this video. We have a lot to do today, so let's get this party started.
You're up. We Lorelai a few places and found the good coffee. Lorelai, checked places out first. Hey.
I feel like I usually add in footage of me carving a stamp or making a stamp, but I never actually talk in depth about my process. So I figured now would be a good time to discuss my process and kind of the way that I go about designing a new stamp and carving a new stamp. So since it's getting into the cozy season, the fall season, I wanted most of my prints that I'm going to be releasing to be related in some way to a cozy fall vibe, but I also want them to be somewhat versatile for other seasons as well, because I really like to have variety. I don't really like to make and sell things that are only seasonal, unless it's some sort of limited edition item or something like that. I think when I limit my designs to seasonal designs, it can be kind of difficult to sell unless it sells within that season. So I felt like the designs that I have been coming up with are pretty versatile for any season, but also specifically pertain to the fall, cozy, Halloweenish type of vibe that everyone's feeling now. So like I discussed before, I have some mushroom designs that you'll see a little bit later in the video, as well as a ghost, which the ghost is the cutest thing in my opinion. And this is a wolf skull. I just kind of took a picture of a wolf skull and traced around it, tried to get the dimension, etc. And this is me switching my tool because I usually get the outline first, which is usually easier if you use a thicker carving tool, and then for medium sizes there's a medium carving tool, and now I'm down to the smallest size to get that fine detail. But I have a little message from past me that I'm going to let talk now. Okay, peep the shirt, or the crew neck I've got on. Cute. She's cute, she's cozy. I am so excited to launch these on Sunday. And I've also been cuddling with the blanket as well. I'll be giving a full detail run through, etc. later. But I have to say something about this skull block print. So my husband is literally a genius, and I asked him if I should put this on smaller paper or keep it on the big paper. And he suggested keeping it on the big paper because this takes up pretty much the entire 8x10 paper. So I might still do the 8x10, but he had the genius idea of moving it up slightly and then having like some sort of like floral. So I want to mimic my tattoo and do some like tulips with like the little long leaves that they have going off of them. So I'm going to be adding that, and that's what I'm going to be carving now. I'm going to have to measure it out and see how big I need them, but then I'm going to have them going cohesively next to each other and being a part of this print, and I'm really excited about this print. I think it might be my favorite, although I end up saying that a lot about a lot of different prints, but I actually feel like this might be my favorite. So like I said, I'm going to be adding in some tulips to this piece instead of letting it just be the skull. Also, this is carving in real time and how slow I usually go. I really like to take my time and get those details and make sure that it's as crisp as possible. And actually last year I started my carving journey by hand drawing my designs onto the stamps by just looking at a reference, but I learned through another creator. I'll put her handle on the screen. She is like the most advanced stamp maker that I have ever seen. She does beautiful work. I saw that she used transfer paper so that her images and details can be as crisp and accurate as possible. The symmetry is there, all of the above. So I learned that concept from her with the transfer paper to get the most accuracy for my stamps. And ever since towards the beginning of this year, that's been how I make my stamps. And the first try was a no-go. I needed much more ink, so it was a little bit distorted, which is kind of upsetting because I only have so much handmade paper, but there is a lesson in everything. So after this print, you'll see that it gets a lot more detailed because I added more ink. But anywho, back to carving. So I pretty much draw up the design on my iPad, and I kind of, rework things and get all my ideas out on there, since you can go back and erase and all of those types of things super easily. Once I get my final design, I switch to the tracing paper, and you can lock your iPad by hitting the power button 3 times. That way you can draw on your iPad without moving the design or anything like that. And I'm gonna pause because look at this final design. I am absolutely in love with this stamp. I say Everprint is my favorite, like I said earlier, but this one I truly think is my absolute favorite. And now I'm going to be doing the design on the large 11x14 green paper. But yeah, once I go to the transfer paper, I pretty much just trace my design exactly how I have it on my iPad. And then once it's traced, you flip it onto the stamp, and I got this transfer tool that really helps you cut the edges and get a super crisp transfer, and that's when you start carving. Also, here is the mushroom prints that I'm doing, and I'm going to be doing the mushroom prints and the ghost print throughout the rest of this section. But carving a stamp can actually be somewhat difficult if you don't plan ahead or think about the space that you want to be shown on the paper, because you want to think about the negative space. And the negative space is basically where the holes or gaps are going to be. Do you want the outline of the design to be on the paper, or do you want the majority of the design to be on the paper and just carve out the details? I tend to have majority of the design on the paper and just carve out the small details, because too much negative space can be really difficult for stamp making and you'll lose a lot of the detail. I want to go in depth on what I'm really meaning here, because this can be kind of a surface level discussion about it, but negative space was my most difficult thing I had to work through when learning how to carve and learning how to do three-dimensional art in the first place. But anywho, that's my process. This is all I got done the other night. I worked for a very long day that day, and this was all just the white ink. Now I have to go back and print the black ink on the lighter paper, as well as carve out the rabbit skull and the crow skull. But I hope this helped you understand my process a little bit more in depth. Hello, beautiful humans. So it is the end of this video, but this outro might be a little bit longer because I'm going to be going over everything that is launching in the shop today. It is available as we speak. The shop was opened as soon as this video was premiering, so if you would like any of these things as soon as this video ends, head over to the shop in the link in the description and shop the goods. I might be biased, but I think this is probably my favorite drop of merch specifically ever. And I have a couple of the things here. There's some things still in the mail on their way to me, and then there are some things that I just haven't yet ordered for myself yet that are part of the drop. So I wanted to at least show you the things that I have in person so you can kind of like see what the quality is like. First of all, I'm wearing one of the crew necks. It is this Luna Moth, the words on it. There's nothing on the back of this one, but the quality is absolutely amazing. I'm wearing a 2XL, so it is very, very spacey. They are unisex, but they're also made of cotton, so they do shrink mildly in the dryer, but they are also pretty true to size. So another thing that will be available is this camper mug. It is the cutest thing ever in my opinion. Again, I might be biased when it comes to reviewing my own things here, but how cute. It's not really focusing. Okay, it's not gonna focus, but you get the gist. Also, the mini calendars will be dropping as well. These were going to be a part of the fall shop update part 2, the handmade items with all the prints and all of those things, but I went ahead and put these up as well. So if you want to shop the 2025 mini calendars, they're on transparent paper. They're super cute. This is what they look like when they're up. I think I might have showed it earlier as well, but these are available now. This crew neck is also available. It is Navigating the Human Experience Mindfully, which is the motto here at Mindful Living if you haven't noticed the theme. And then the last thing that I got that is a part of this drop is this. I got the big one, so I got the 60 by 80 inch blanket. It's huge. I mean, it's huge. Super cozy, super comfy. I've been cuddling with it 24/7. It's absolutely amazing. Super soft, plushy blankets. And then the other things that will be available is this dad hat, which I do have this on the way. I wish it was here in time so I could show you. This hoodie, which is the motto hoodie. It has Navigating the Human Experience Mindfully on the back, and then on the front it just says Mindful in the handwriting that is on the crew neck. We also have the Weekender tote bag. We have the blanket in white. We also have the Art of Becoming prints coming back. I launched the charcoal one last year. They're 16 by 20, but now the white white version is also available. And then yesterday, from the print that I made and carved out in the clip just before this one, I randomly decided to color it on my iPad and turn it into merch. So it is the Sworn Mindful mini collection. It is a t-shirt and a crew neck. It has the wolf skull on the front with the tulips coming out of the eyes, and then on the back it's the same exact as the print where it has the wolf skull and then the 2 tulips surrounding it. And it's basically an oath, which is kind of like in the theme of like the fall spooky season, where it's swearing an oath. I solemnly swear to live a mindful life. So if you want to partake in any of these items that you just saw, you can head over to the link in my description now and shop the drop. And also, happy autumn equinox. It is officially fall, my favorite season of all. It is time for the cozy vibes, slowing down for the year, reconnecting and recentering before 2025, which I cannot believe 2025 is already rapidly approaching. The last thing that I want to say is the prints that you did see me making are going to be available. Those will be a part of the fall shop update part 2. All the handmade items that will be stickers, prints. I think I might do some more keychains. I'm not totally sure. Holiday cards, things like that. So stay tuned. That's going to be launching in mid-October. So my next video will be a huge market prep, which is going to be making the rest of those prints, maybe a few more. And like I said, the other handmade items, my market is on the 6th. It is the biggest market that I've ever been a part of. I'm super honored and so excited to be a part of it. And then the leftovers, as well as some ones that I will be replenishing, will be available probably the week after that, I'm thinking. But either way, stay tuned. Thank you so much for your incredible support and for watching this video and just being a part of this mindful family. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from it. I hope you took away something from it. And overall, I hope it helped you navigate the human experience a little bit more mindfully. I'm sending you all love. I hope you receive as much as you give, and I will see you in the next one.